Einen wunderschönen guten Abend und herzlich willkommen zu einer neuen Episode von Journey to the Chateau hier von Saint-Baudel in France.
Salut à tous et bienvenue à Journey to the Château de Colombe in Saint-Baudel.
And of course now to our English-speaking friends around the world, welcome to another episode of Journey to the Chateau.
Yes.
This week we have been both had the summer flu.
We have. It's really brought us down.
It was not pretty.
No.
But then again, it was pretty with the flu. In any case, welcome and let's see what we're up to this week.
Yes, we are going to show you updates that we've been doing to the farmhouse Gîte and our discovery about something that's missing in our chateau. So this is the farmhouse Gîte. I'm going to head in here, see what Patrick is up to today. Hello.
Hello.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Don't you speak French to me? Good that you're here because I need to talk to you. So, while painting,
Yeah.
look what happened.
So is that...
This is a beam.
Oh. That's where the paint has flaked off, right? So
Yes, and it's
but it's actually
mint green. There was
Right.
this bright blue from the 50s. Mint green was probably from the 20s. And then there's this lovely faded color. So what I was thinking is I'd rather not fix this, but take kind of uncover the beam, because I think the beam here is much more interesting than.
Absolutely, yeah.
So, are you okay with that?
Sure, absolutely.
This has been painted twice. You can see the dark brown that was down here still shining through very nicely, but it's faint, so it's a bit better.
Right.
There was a heater here which will be replaced. That's why I didn't close up the holes.
Right.
And yeah, it's coming. So the kitchen, living, dining room is done. This needs one more coat, which I need to mix the color for. Oh, good grief! I haven't actually looked at this. So the toilet, the water closet,
Yeah, the
has
water.
the same.
That was the same paint that's in the bathroom. It's got to be painted over.
Oh, lovely!
Should I
Because
show
it has
it so we can
stripes in
show
it.
Yeah, it's this.
Can I just turn on the light for
Absolutely.
more entertainment?
Yeah. There we go. It's those sporty stripes that you love to see in a water closet.
Oh, good lord. Anyway, so this is definitely. I guess it's interesting. Just this wall looks mint green, only because it reflects this.
Right.
So the rest is white, and just for interest, there was still the holes for the old water tank. Are still there, of course.
Okay.
What else would one do, right?
Right.
Just keep those holes. And they, oh, never mind. So I'm really quite pleased with the progress here. It's, bathroom needs one area painted white, then that's done with paint. Short hallway. And 2 bedrooms. Now,
Right.
in the 1 bedroom, we have a built-in closet, floor to ceiling, that is falling apart.
Falling apart, yeah.
And needs to go, so
Right.
we can maybe take that out this afternoon.
Right.
Since we're going to home improvement store tomorrow, let's see what kind of a paint we want for that room.
Right.
And, well, we have, so no idea if we tint anything. I mean, because this paint looks completely white. I'm aware of that. It's not. It is a very, very light gray. So it's French gray that is 1 to 10 with white paint.
Right.
It's nice. But so that's something we are gonna decide tomorrow.
Right.
But I'm really happy, and the entryway is so nice. It's so bright and clean now. And that needed a fresh coat of paint. Like, you know, it's and this house hasn't been lived in years, so definitely needed some paint and TLC.
Yeah. What an improvement. Yeah.
And I'm not sure, maybe we can get the same paint for the doors, because I actually like this color.
Yeah, it is actually nice. It kind of goes nice with the floors, and it's kind of like a putty color.
Yeah, it actually is, which
And normally we would be like...
kind of strange that I like it.
Exactly, normally we would not choose a color like that at all.
Like,
So.
absolutely not. And I'm like, yes, it's lovely. And here the hardware, we can most probably take this hardware off.
Yeah.
The receiving part here, that is is actually hammered into the limestone, so that's gonna stay.
Sure.
And let's see. Oh, look at that.
That's another beam, right?
Let's see what we do with that. So,
Yeah, because it certainly would be nice in these
this
buildings.
might not be a good idea because it doesn't have a header.
Right, but it is nice to actually see the beams in these buildings.
I don't know if I really want to make that big a mess right now.
Right. Yeah.
With everything else going on, right? Anyways, gotta go. I mean, I have work to do.
Okay, so
Thank you.
You're gonna crack on?
Yes.
Okay. Well, the first coat here in the hallway is drying. I have started to work on this small bedroom. It's really cute. And just had the caulk to fill some little cracks, and I found something that was loose, and I thought, oh, what's this? So here we are, a big mess. I just uncovered that beam and a big hole or gap, which used to be filled, that all came down. And I have a mess on my hands, so I'm cleaning right now. It's fun though. It's really pretty. And up here, that line, it's very crooked. That is the old beam. So is really nice. I don't know if we are going to uncover this, but we might, but not right now. Okay, now can I just talk about that wallpaper removal?
Yeah.
Why are you laughing?
I know how bad that was.
Well, it wasn't actually really bad. So the thing is, if you have structured wallpaper, so it's like three-dimensional
Texture,
wallpaper,
yes.
textured, structured, textured,
Textured wallpaper.
textured with a structure. Anyway, so and there are multiple layers of paint on it.
Right. Yes.
That was great. So here I am with like, oh, this is wallpaper. I'm going to just steam it, which normally works like a charm. It does not when there are. I mean, when you could just. I mean, you pull it off and you could stand it on the floor.
Right. There were so
That's
many
stiff.
coats of paint on there that steamer wasn't going to penetrate anything.
No, of course
in
it
that
can't.
wallpaper.
But
No.
it was so. Finally, I thought, what am I doing? So I just started to pull, and sometimes I had like these huge pieces that came
Yeah.
down. You have to pull carefully. You can't do this in a like wham bam
Right.
manner. But I mean, it's so that was great. Did that, and so now I have this one very thin layer of brown backing paper from the wallpaper that is still on there. That's all that needs to go, and
Right.
then it's replastering parts of the wall because there are areas where the wallpaper took the plaster off with it. And I
Yeah,
thought, oh, that's
well.
great. Anyway, so that is the last room that really needs to be worked on in the Gîte at this point.
Right.
We have planned to completely redo the bathroom. We would have liked to do this before our first guests arrive, but that cannot happen because we can't get the things we need
Right.
in time. So
Right, and we need to completely gut the bathroom of the tub and tiles and everything that's in there. So
Yes.
and there's just not enough time right now to do that.
no, well, you know, and I mean, I would have taken out the bath tub if I could have gotten or we could have gotten, sorry, but the actual shower base that we want.
Right.
And so that's not happening, so this can't happen, and it's this in between.
Right.
But it looks really, really nice.
It does.
Gîte.
It's yes. Yeah.
And
it looks great.
It is really wonderful because it is, of course, like everywhere else in the Northern Hemisphere, really hot. And you leave the shutters closed, that Gîte, I mean, it's over 200 years old.
Yeah.
And we saw a map recently that shows this property in what, 1826?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it already was there. That farmhouse was completely there.
Right.
And as well as the original kitchen. So that's really fascinating because you don't have a kitchen in the house, right? You have this.
Right. It was external, outside the house. Yeah.
It's so funny that today we just love when you come into a house and you can smell like, I don't know, garlic or something that is on the stove. Yeah,
Right.
no, that was very different then.
Yeah. They didn't want to smell anything. No.
So it's really great.
Yeah.
But then we have this, and the walls are so thick that it does keep the house really nice, the Gîte really nice and cool.
Yeah. So this past week, we had our first volunteer.
Oh, yes, Jennifer from Australia.
Yes, she was fantastic. Lovely
Yes.
to meet her.
Yeah, it was lovely.
And she did some work for us doing some, gardening, weeding outside the farmhouse Gîte, where we had lots of stuff that was overgrown next to the building.
And years of neglect.
Yeah.
And she put in so much hard work.
Yeah, she did a great job.
Coming around the corner and seeing the back of the farmhouse was almost shocking.
Yeah.
The difference
She really,
that her work made was
really
just
transformed the view back
amazing.
there, yeah.
So it was just wonderful to have here. And we did also go to Emmaüs.
We did. We went to yet another one in a different town.
And we got 2 more chairs.
2 more chairs.
Really pretty. We got some dishes.
Right.
We got curtain tie bags.
Curtains, yeah, curtain stuff, yeah.
And a very coarse linen tablecloth that is not the actual tablecloth but an underlayment to protect the mahogany. So that was great.
Yeah.
And we still don't have a table base.
No, we still have a little time, but
And I
the
know
clock's
that,
ticking on that.
I know that our first guests are watching, so let's just say we're trying everything we can
don't
to
know.
get you a
table.
But other than that, it is beautiful. I mean, it's hot, but we are not in a drought region, so not that we have any rain, but our groundwater hasn't dropped, so that's a big plus.
Right.
Other than that, yes, we have a purchase.
Yes, and what is that purchase?
Well,
We happen to have it right here.
so it is a bed crown
Yes.
or a hat for me, for
Ciel de
Astrid.
lit or a bed crown.
Yes, it is about. It's supposed to be Napoleon the First, First Empire.
Quite obviously, this is very old.
And of course we had to treat it for
Yes,
woodworm.
we sprayed it for woodworm already.
And Stuart did some repairs on it. It looks really nice. Yeah, I don't know. It used to have some gilding on it. I don't know if we're going to re-gild or not.
Maybe it just depends on where it goes. Show them the. I don't think they saw the fabric side. So this is the underside of it here. This is the fabric that's still in there.
It's rouged.
Rouged, yes, it is. That's like we're not going to go there.
Oh, good Lord. No.
That's like a person.
And so rouging is something I just find really.
Right, and Patrick
just
said
say
this
a
to
word.
me. We talked about,
But we're
obviously this fabric is not really great. It's kind of, so we want to.
Well, it's older than me.
Right, so I'm sure that we're going to want to replace it with another fabric, whatever that goes with the rest of wherever it's going, the fabric. But we want to try to recreate this sort of look. So we just are going to document when we take it apart, so we know what we need to do in order to take a new piece of fabric and put it back together.
We are trying to, or we will be reupholstering not upholstering. There's no upholster there. We're going to recover it.
Right.
And recreating what's here.
Right.
So that's going to be interesting. And it's such a nice size. It can go in many rooms.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So it's a great project. Oh, we also got...
I think you can put that down now.
Can I?
Why don't you put that down now?
We also got fabric. So for the farmhouse, so we will start to sew curtains. Haven't done that in way over 30 years.
Yeah.
It's like, really? Okay, let's do it. Yes?
Right.
Well, how bad can it be?
Right.
It can be bad.
Yeah.
But it's this is we're waiting for this whole summer flu to completely go away.
Yeah. I don't know if you
And
can,
it's not
I don't know
COVID,
if
we
you
got
can tell
tested.
by listening to us, but obviously we're still dealing with it. Yeah.
It's not COVID. We got tested, so we're good.
Right. No.
However,
We're not going anywhere anymore without a mask on. That's for sure.
well, and it was almost 4 years that we hadn't had anything.
Right.
And so for the last 4 weeks, we figured, well, it's summer, it's nice. Let's just be a little more relaxed about the masks, and this is what we
Don't
got.
do it. Don't do it.
Hey, unless you have it's when you can take four naps a day, you're in trouble. Or you're not feeling well. But in any case, so that was our week, right?
It was. So the only other thing is to talk about what we had mentioned last week was when we had the neighbors over.
Yes.
And they had mentioned to us about, we talked about the chateau, and they brought us over a postcard that we had mentioned last week. So that sort of started, this whole topic started because of an image that we saw in this book. So this is a book that was left here at the chateau.
And it's called Histoire et Statistique Monumentale du Département du Cher, Volume 5.
Right.
So it's the history and, the history of the department of Cher, and our chateau is in it.
It is, yes. This comes in different volumes, and in this one, Château de Colombe is in this volume. And it has a little write-up about it, and also included in here was this little illustration, which I will show a close-up of it separately from this, so you can see it. So the fascinating thing about this illustration of the front of Château de Colombe was it shows in the top floor, in the attic area, it shows that there are 3 dormer windows. And we only have 1 dormer window.
Now this gentleman is going on about if we buy this, if we get the chateau, who knew, right? And he always said, I want there to be 3 dormers.
I have
Good Lord, I can't even tell you how many times I've heard that.
I had always thought when I looked at the chateau that it seemed a little odd to me and out of place that there was only 1 little dormer window up on that top floor.
Either none or 3.
Right.
Come on.
Why even bother with 1, right?
So it used to be 3, and
so at least the illustration in this book was showing that when they illustrated it, they were showing that when they drew it, that they were drawing it with 3 dormer windows up there.
yes.
So when our neighbors came over that we told you about previously, I brought this book out and I showed them the article and I showed them that illustration. And that really got them talking and thinking about trying to remember. And they immediately were running outside to the courtyard and looking back up at the chateau. And the following day, one of them came back by with a postcard that was a photograph
1890s.
from the late 1800s, 1900,
Yeah.
of our chateau, which I will show you. And in the photograph, it actually does show that there are multiple dormer windows on the top floor.
Well, let's just multiple 3.
There are 3.
It's a very definite number.
Well, in the postcard, you see the one that's, one in the middle that's there, and you see another one,
Right.
and kind of a glimpse there might be of it. But obviously, there were multiple dormers in the.
And we already have tried to find that postcard. We haven't been able to.
Right. So
find it yet, but we will.
what they had in a frame was actually a blown up photocopy of a postcard.
Yes.
And not the original postcard. So we're sort of curious. We've already done some internet searches trying to find a copy of the original postcard, which we haven't found yet, which we would like to try to find a copy of because it may be a bit clearer of a image if we actually can get the original postcard.
And on that, there are multiple different postcards of the chateau, but we just haven't found any of them yet. But that doesn't mean we will stop trying.
Right. And we do know that from going to Brocant's that we've seen several vendors at Brocant's who have had tables that were filled with indexed all different kinds of postcards for people, anyone who wants to sit there and leaf through all their postcards. Chances are ours might be in there, but
It's possible.
That would take a lot of time to go through all of those.
So this is one of the future projects for us to restore the chateau so it has its 3 dormers back.
Yes.
And in the center dormer that is left, which is not original, there is this room that was the head of household,
right,
overseeing the servants, and each room left and right next to it had, and they were locked up at night because it was men and women segregated. So there were 2 dormers so that each large bedroom for the servants had a window.
Right.
So and heat. So it's really interesting what's not there anymore.
Right, and we always knew from going up there, that was a much more developed area than what we're seeing right now because and we know when you walk up there, there's full tummet floors on the ground.
Yep.
You can see in the area when you first go up, is partially a ceiling with what looked like was a space to go up further into the attic.
Yes, there was access.
Right, attic access. And then you can see around the other parts where there used to be places where there used to be walls and ceilings and places were divided up.
You see where the slats used to be, where the plaster was.
Right.
So so up there was 2 large.
It was a fully developed
bedrooms.
floor.
Oh no, 3 big bedrooms.
Right.
One for the head of household and one for the men and one for the women who worked in this chateau as house servants.
Right.
So it's fascinating. So this concludes this week's episode of Journey to the Chateau, or the farmhouse, depending on how you want to look at it. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. We're very humbled by all your support and comments. So thank you for being with us. And until next week.
See you next time.
À bientôt.
Bonne journée.
Au revoir.
If you enjoyed this video, please use the like feature to let us know. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our Journey to the Chateau YouTube channel if you'd like to see more. Once you've subscribed, you can tap the notification bell in order to ring it, which will allow you to receive all notifications from our channel. Thank you.